Hey, what is up, guys? Hypersonic5858 here, and welcome to just a little bit of a random video. This is Monster Hunter Rise with the DLC for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. I'm just gonna not really show much of the new stuff. I'm just gonna be playing and just getting like old quests done that I haven't already. So you guys can just watch it and whatnot. I'm just gonna be talking over it, so that way you guys can see all that stuff, blah 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 blah, and just so I could talk to you guys. So my main weapon I like using for Monster Hunter, if you guys don't know, most of you have, if you have watched me or play with me with the game, is I like using the insect glaive. It is one of my favorite weapons to use, like, of all time. I did start off at what is it? When did I start playing Monster Hunter? One of my high school buddies, he introduced me to the game and told me about it and to check it out and stuff. So I was checking it out and was very impressed with it, just by it. So I started off in, if you're wondering which game it was, for the, what is it, the America, for here in America in the US, it was Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, which is, what do you call it, no, well, not really, it's the fourth generation of the series, for the series. So I did that I played that like a lot. It was one of my favorite games. But I started off playing that game with my weapons being the dual blades. So I used those a lot with what I did. So I played that a lot just with the dual blades, like mainly for the first story. And then my buddy introduced me to, said to check out the charge blade. I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and check it out and stuff, to see how it worked. And I liked using the charge blade back in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. I liked playing it a lot then, because of how it played. Like, not that there's anything bad about how it is now. It's just a little bit, I'll say, too complicated for what I like using now. Since I think when they change, well, I did like using it in Monster Hunter Generations and Generations Ultimate. I liked using it then because it was really good for it. So I did that and was just basically just using that to get what I needed to done. It had a unique way to play it, which was good, especially with the arts and stuff. It was super fun. But when I discovered the insect glaive, I think I started with, I think I mainly did it. Oh, there's the monster. I need to hit the Barroth. I think when I started it, I think I saw my buddy was using it, so I tried it out and found out that it was really good for mounting monsters. It was really good for mounting monsters for back in the day because of how well it all worked. So that's why I was just like, ooh, let me go ahead and let me go and check it out. So I made what do you call it, the ultimate version of the Kinsect, which I liked. It was well, not that I liked it, it was really good. It allowed me to get the hang of it and how to use it and stuff. So I basically used that through basically the rest of of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. I used that a lot, and I completed a lot of quests, all that stuff, and it was really, really fun. So I enjoyed that one a lot. If you guys didn't know for it, but they had, what's it called? The certain, I'll say almost like play style, but it's not really the play style of it. But they've changed a lot of different things, especially during the games. Like, they've changed up a lot of how things work, different move sets. But yeah, that's what happened with it. So Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate was my first experience to Monster Hunter. It was a great experience. I'm glad I got to experience it because of how well it was to me, at least. But I don't know what anyone else thinks of it. They probably were like, oh, it's okay, blah blah blah, whatever. But me, I enjoyed it a lot, especially with all the different weapons and all that stuff. It was different. It was different for me. I normally wasn't really accustomed to different to newer games. I would try to stay away from different genres that I liked. But for this game, it was much better for me to go out and experience and get because of the game. So that's why I was super happy about being able to discover more of this game. And then when Monster Hunter Generations on the 3DS came out, which was crazy because like Monster Hunter, like they from what I read, they had a lot of different let's say what's it called? Shoot, I'm trying to think what it was called. They've had a lot of different things for sure for how the game worked. Because normally in Japan, if I remember, I could be wrong, you guys can let me know in the comments, but Japan always had this a version of the game, which for Japan, for Monster Hunter 4, it was just Monster Hunter 4. That's all that was out. And then they released another version of the game, which was Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. But I think in Japan it's called Cross. I could be wrong though. Yeah, I got it here. I think that's what it was called back I think that's what it's called in Japan. Okay, this is really but yeah, that's what I think it's called in Japan. It's called Cross. That's for Cross, but I could be wrong of how they do it. But for it, because of certain things, blah blah blah, whatever, they would change up how it worked. So a lot of the times when they did that, in Japan they'd always release 2 games. But I don't know if it was just starting with 4 or they just didn't do it with 4. But every other one released, I think, started with just as Ultimate. So when we got it, it was already the excuse me. Dang. It always started with the first game in Japan, which had the low rank and high rank quest, which is always good. Can't go wrong with those. And then afterwards, I forget how long it would take for it to change, but when it did change, it would be, or when they would add it, they would make another game of it, so that way you can upgrade. It would be adding the Master Rank stuff. I think that's how it entirely worked for Japan originally. And then once it hit when it came out for Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, I think it did very well here in the States, which is good. That's really good, especially here in the States. it did very well for them. Spoiler if you guys haven't seen anything for it, but yeah. But they would do that. It's how the game would function and stuff. So literally, they did really. I guess I want to say 4 Ultimate did really well, because then when Monster Hunter Generations came out, which that was on for the the 3DS. When that came out, they did that, but then I want to say when did it come out? I want to say this for Generation, yeah, when it came out 3DS, that was only the high rank and low rank stuff for Generations, and then Generations Ultimate came out. For the US, I think it only came out on the Switch, which added the Valstrax and a bunch of the other cool other monsters with the Master Rank stuff. So I want to say that's what happened with that. So that was that. And then, what do you call it? It was with, and then with Generations coming on 3DS for the US, and then it jumped to Switch for Generations Ultimate. I played that one a lot. You guys probably saw it. I streamed it several times for it. That's just what I did because it was easier. But I liked playing that one. That was really fun, especially I got to play with some friends doing it. But when that came out, but I think for Japan, Generations Ultimate actually came out on the 3DS, and then I want to say it moved to Switch afterwards. I want to say that, but I could be wrong. So, but that's what I'm just gonna say for that, so that way you don't. It's what it is. But yeah, so that's what it was for those. For when it arrived and stuff, but that's a little history of stuff the games I've played. But I did enjoy the games a lot. I still do to this day. They're one of my favorite ones to get back to playing, especially like after I played Rise for a good amount of it, and then afterwards they weren't really adding anything or cool monsters. Oh, they did add some monsters that I liked, like they added quests for certain monsters, blah blah blah, or whatever. But I liked when they added. I played a lot during when they added the Camilos, the Kushaladora, and the what is it called? The Teostra. When they added those Elder Dragons, those were a lot of fun to face up against, since the last time I saw them was back in Generations Ultimate, because I didn't play World because I didn't have an Xbox or PlayStation to play it on, so I skipped that one, which I think was good for me. I think a lot of people say, "Oh, you're not a true Monster Hunter fan if you didn't play it," because they introduced the no load zone stuff. But hear me out on this. You guys might agree, or whoever's watching it, whatever. I want to say it was really good for me because of how, what do you call it? When playing this, it wasn't the same formula, if that makes sense. So like everyone's like, oh, when you play a game, it's normally the same, especially when it's the sequel. They try to keep it the same formula for the game. So, for instance, for Monster Hunter, it's the same thing. You go attack monsters, whatever, and you kill them, blah blah blah. Get materials. You keep going, progressing, whatever, till you complete all the quests or get your all the quests done or get all the rewards. Because there's a lot of... I haven't fully done it because, well, one, I don't really need to. But I also, when playing the games, I like to play a lot until I was like, alright, I'm done for right now. So, but right now I've just been playing it a lot because I want to be able to experience all the monsters and all that other stuff, especially with the DLC for here at Rise for Sunbreak. But that's what I was afraid of. That's why it's like a lot of the times when the new DLC, like their Capcom's free DLC for Monster Hunter would come out, I wouldn't really I wouldn't really play it because they'd always come out month to month. And that's what I think they're gonna do with this one again, like how they did with for Ultimate, which is good. I like it. I like what they did, but maybe they'll do it. But I know the first batch for Sunbreak comes out in here shortly, so that's gonna be good. So that's what I mainly took away from when I didn't play World, because I didn't want to deal with the same formula or whatever. I heard it was good. I want to be able to go and play it, but I'm not really at the same time, if that makes sense. So, what do you call it? I mainly played just Generations Ultimate a lot while World was out, just because I didn't really need to do that much for Rise or anything else. Not Rise. Oh yeah, I actually could jump up here. Wow, I did not know that. Okay. But no, with how, what do you call it? A lot of the games were with it, like with how Generations was and anything else, like those games, I really liked playing. But I was so used to the load, like you'd go into a zone and then it would load the area, so that way you can run away, hide, or heal while you do it real quickly. But this one makes it a bit more of a challenge when you do it, which is good because I like challenge. But afterwards, when that happened, I didn't really play I played a lot of Generations Ultimate, like I said, but the main reason why I took a break from not getting World, even though when it came out on PC I could play it, which I so could have, but literally at the time I was just not really wanting to play World because I was playing Generations Ultimate, because that came I was playing that a lot on my Switch. So since I did that, I didn't really do much else with it, which is fine, I guess you could say, but I just was like not wanting to really play any other Monster Hunter game at the current time because of Generations Ultimate. But I'm glad I didn't really play it, because then I would be more surprised when the game came out, which is this one. When it fully came out on Switch, then later on PC, I could actually be able to go in, play it, and actually enjoy the game a lot, which I did. I really enjoyed playing this one, and I'm enjoying the DLC a lot. If you guys haven't really played the DLC at all, or don't have the game in general, which is fine. Not a lot of you like Monster Hunter, but a lot of you, I think, did play it, but then stopped playing it because you're like, oh, it's a new game, and you wanted to expand your horizons, but it wasn't the game you were looking for, I'll say. Which, that's how I was. If you don't have a good friends to play it with, or friends at the time, you can definitely say that it's a game that you definitely need to just sit down and, I'll say this, sit down, like if you're one of the players that don't like playing with people online, or we're just like, oh, my friends are super high up and whatnot, and you want to grind with them, like to get up to their level, it's a grindy game. If you like those ones, but if you don't like them, then it's not a game for you. I understand that. You just like things getting handed to you. That's understandable. It's not. It's just everyone's preference. especially playing like the older generations of Pokemon. I was used to those grindy stuff, so when I sat there and actually had to go around, level up my Pokemon and stuff, compared to how it is now, when literally the XP share just gives your whole team XP instead of just what's it called? Just the one just the two Pokemon when you gave that Pokemon the item to hold. That's understandable. But I definitely enjoyed playing these games just by themselves, like especially with these. But yeah, that's just on that. But back to what I was saying, because I went off topic a bit. When coming back into this game with Rise, I was able to play it a lot just because it was all new to me. You could say, oh, it's not really new, blah, blah. It's new to me because I didn't play World. World introduced the no-load zones and stuff, so I was like, oh, this is a new take on it. But when being able to play this on with all the monsters being more high definition and have more detail, and being the no-load zones on a Switch game was really was a lot of fun for me. I really have enjoyed it. And it was one of those ones to where I was just wanting to be able to play anytime I could. So I enjoyed doing those a lot. So I really enjoyed it. It was super unique, different. There were some monsters that I knew, some that I didn't, that they were brand new to this game. But there's ones I want to say that I didn't know about, which were the Tobi-Kadachi. Excuse me, dang. The Tobi-Kadachi and what is it? The Anadrath. I forget how to say his name. But he's a weird, like dinosaur-like one that has the wings and the big nose when he gets mad. Those are the ones I said I didn't know about much because they were either newer or they were new to World, but they weren't new to me. Or they were new to me, but they were newer to World and not this game, so they were a bit older, I'll say. So those ones I definitely will say were the fun ones to play a lot for that. But I enjoyed fighting them and stuff. They were unique, but plus also the new monster, like the older monsters that were in World. That were brought back into World. Those ones were definitely good to see, especially in the no load zone formula, if that makes sense. So what do you call it? It was what was it called? I call it that. I don't know if it's how the community calls it, but I call it the no load zone era with the monsters, because a lot of monsters were so programmed to the way they do it, how they do it now, which is with what do you call it? With when how it was back in the day. Every area, every zone, like how it's like on the map, like you guys can see in the bottom left, it has 2, 1, 4, 6, 7, like all those up to this one has 12 areas, but each of those areas would be a specific a load zone area that the monster would either go to or load into, which is cool, which is fine, nothing crazy about that, but that's what it was. It was signaling with that. That's what it was. So I was so used to that. But with the no load zone area, a lot of monsters they had to reprogram to do all that. They still will do a lot of the same animations when they actually run away and stuff. But since a lot of them now you can go from zone to zone and they will follow you, it's crazy. Because if you go in the no load zone area, they don't follow you. They will just go to their extent and then that's it. They just run away. They'll just stay in that zone until either they get tired or they're going into the next new portion. I won't say a new portion of their wave, like how the boss fights work basically with the monsters, but with how just their how it's programmed to be, because they'll stay. Some monsters only will stay a specific path. Some will go like to the same areas multiple times. Some will just stick to only when you find out to a certain thing. But they stay in a area for only a limited amount of time. So since they stay there for a limited amount of time, you can fight them to your heart's extent in those areas and not have to worry about anything, which is good, because that made it so that way that you know where they were, but you had to paintball them, which I think I want to say they got rid of them basically in this, but I don't remember. But paintballing would work is because you wouldn't be able to find the monster. So if you didn't know, if you weren't hunting the same monster over and over and over again, you wouldn't know where to find it. But if you knew where the monster was, like right off the get-go, like if you fought it, like if you're grinding it for a specific mission or for armor, whatever, like pieces of it, like that's different. That you'll have to you'll know where to find it each time, and then you can just paintball it right then and there. But they had this cool mechanic back in the older games without the paintball. There would sometimes pop up a hot air balloon. So when that hot air balloon was there, you can wait, you can do a gesture to wave at them, and they'll give you a temporary, I'll say basically a temporary paintball of where the monster is, so you can go and get it, and then you paintball it yourself, so that way it tracks the monster the whole time. So that way you don't lose it at all. But now, since, what do you call it? Now you can see where all the monsters are on the field anyway, all of them. They would just keep them away and stuff. So that was the fun part, was doing that and getting that done. But other than that, I think I liked, that was always fun. But a lot of the times there would only be one monster on the field at a time, and then there would be one that might intrude and come in at random, which is always still fine. I don't mind, but I liked it a lot. But it was always super fun to sit there and find the monster instead of just doing whatever with it, because it would always be a certain thing or whatever. But I really enjoyed doing that. That was always fun, especially when you could just find the monsters either randomly or you spawned with them, especially during, I think it was with just mainly high rank stuff. You would have to go and find the monster, but you'd also spawn randomly. You wouldn't spawn right at the home base each time, like how it is in the newer ones. I don't know how World did it. I don't know if World just always kept you at spawn even during mastering stuff in high rank. I don't remember, but I did know that in the older ones, anytime you hit high rank, you'd instantly go and get it done. That's just what it was. So you'd have to go and find it and all that stuff, or wait till supplies actually showed up instead of the supplies always being right there. So yeah, that was always that. But especially during, like, with playing Rise now, like how it works, it's a lot. I'll say a lot more fun to me. I like Rise a lot. World would probably be fun as well, but I liked a lot of the new changes that they did with the weapons. Like, they updated, like, a lot of them needed some new attacks. I did feel, especially for myself, when playing a lot of the older games with the insect glaive, I didn't really get to, I'll say basically, I didn't get to, well, no, I did experience a lot of it, but I just didn't get to, get to the point where I needed to worry about changing weapons. But ever since, I think my my best friend, which you guys probably know, you know who he is. You've probably seen me do videos with him and stuff. He's under as the clown, or what do you call it, My Little Lolly on like Epic Games and stuff. But he played which I think he was new to the series with Monster Hunter because he started with World, and same with my younger brother. You guys know him as Ninjago Carter, all that stuff. But he also, I tried to get him into the game Monster Hunter way back in when he back in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, but he got it. He wasn't that like interested in it, blah blah blah, so he didn't really play it. But when World came out, he was like, oh okay, he wanted, I guess I don't know the full thing for it, but I would have to ask him, but he wanted to play it again. He wanted to be able to get introduced to it and stuff, and be able to do that, which is good because it's always a fun experience with it. So I enjoyed when he was playing that. It was really fun. Oh, he's still loaded onto the map, but yeah, he played that, so he got into it. But they were both do that. But my brother's always been a dual wielder. Sorry, he's always been a dual wielder, so literally he was using the dual blades and stuff, so he would play that a lot, and that was his main choice of weapons, which is good. But my best friend, he would used the insect glaive, and he showed me a cool new thing that it could do, which you guys see me use all the time right now, which is the helicopter spin. So he used that and taught me how to do that. That all you need is the red I forget what they're called, the red insect glaive stuff, but that's what he told me to do. So I was just like, oh, that's cool. So I learned how to use that, and it was a lot better. The insect glaive felt more fun to use for myself personally. So yeah, on that note, I just wanted to say thank you guys for waiting so long for me to come back and do videos. It's been tough this last month, just because I told you guys what happened and stuff, but literally it's been difficult. So I appreciate you guys waiting for so long, but it's just been a minute. I've just been trying to focus, hang out with family, and get a lot of other stuff done. So, but yeah. Before I go, I'll talk about my armor and stuff. So right now, my weapon, I have Duke's Scepter, which is the DLC's one of the DLC's Elder Dragon is the Malzeno, which is what you can see right there. I also have his armor, but the certain things that I have on it are stun resistance at max, so I could just use the 4-slot one, which is something new that they added. But it also has the rampage skill, which is the Spirit doubled. So there's a chance for me when I'm collecting the little spirit birds, which give stat boosts and stuff, though HP, stamina, what do you call it? Attack and defense buffs. Ooh, excuse me, I'm a bit tired. It will give it to. It has occasionally give me doubled, so I'll get one, and it'll make a different sound. It'll pop up the same thing twice, but I only collected one spirit bird. But yeah, so this is the rest of my armor. So the ones in green are additional ones that you could add on to it. So the armor automatically comes with attack boost level 4, but I added on, I think, with my talisman, if I remember. Let me see. Yeah, my talisman had attack boost level 3, and I forget what. But yeah, I don't forget what thing is on it, but yeah. So that's what I think I had on it to make it level 7. It doesn't come with defense boost, but I added a what is it? A skill for this one. Oops. Which I thought it would tell me what was on it, but it is not. But yeah. Wait, hold on. I think I can view what talisman I have on it in the box. Change skills. Nope. Equipment. Set decorations. Okay, yeah. So I think my talisman only had a level 1 attack, but I think because it had slots and the attack boost, I just gave it a level 2 attack. Yeah, because that's what I have. No, it just gave me a level 3 one. So it had 2 attack on it plus a slot, so I gave it that. So yeah, everything else is what it is. That's why I was getting confused by it. But yeah, so I have the Malfonzo's gear. Malzino, sorry. So the top one has stun resistance because I hate the stun. You get hit multiple times. You sit there and you're just like, oh, you got the little stars above your head, and then this monster get a free hit. So I always try to have that on. So yeah, so my talisman gives me additional 3 attack because it comes with that. So I get the full bonus of attack plus 10% plus a bonus 10 attack, which is good. This one, the feet don't come with it. They just come with the weakness exploit and Blight Resistance and attack boost. Excuse me. But I gave it the skill, the decorations, since it has a lot of slots on it, to be at the defense level boost. So I got the defense plus 10% plus a bonus 35 and all elemental resistance plus 5. So I got all that. And then weakness exploit attacks that hit the weak spot have a 50% chance increase infinity. So if you guys don't know what this is, it basically when you're hitting weak spots, so each one says weak spot. Mostly it's a lot of the times the head, but they have other parts as well. Well, you'll see it has, the numbers will pop up when they're just normal gray or white. I think whatever color it is, it'll show what it is there. At the moment. So when it's there, it'll show that and stuff. So when you have that, the infinity is basically the critical hit chance. So a lot of the times when I'm doing it, especially when I'm chaining, it does more. But yeah, and then I got a protective polish, which is, in my opinion, it's really good, especially because handicraft requires a lot of slots just to get to level 5. But then you have to sit there and use it all up the purple or whatever, and it'll change it. But when you use protective polish, if you're not a seasoned, don't know what it is, or if you're not familiar with the skills or whatever, but if you're a OG Monster Hunter fan and player, you know what it does. But what it does is anytime you sharpen your weapon, normally a lot of times whetstones take a lot, but I'll explain that in a little bit, because I have a skill called speed sharpening right here. I'll explain that in a second. But after you're done polishing it, depending on what level you have, since I have it level 3, your sharpness will not go down at all for those 90 seconds. So basically, I have purple on my weapon. That's why you guys will see anytime when my extracts, that's what they're called, consecutive extracts, my red, blue, my red, white, and orange, when those run out, my protective polish normally runs out. I'm trying to extend that. I'm trying to figure out a way to do it, but I have to just grind a lot to be able to get my attack up, my attack boost up, so I don't have to worry about that, but also have my it's called Power Prolonger, which will help with that, which is what I want. It helps with a lot. I'll show you guys here in a second when it is. But yeah, protect polish for those 90 seconds. You don't lose sharpness. So I have purple sharpness, which is the highest tier of sharpness in the game. which is really good. But since I have just a small sliver of it, it'll take a lot of attack. It'll take a good, like, a little bit of attacks, and then I'm back down to white sharpness. But when I use protective polish, it stays at that purple, so I have that maximum damage, which is really good. Blight Resistance comes with the armor, but it is at max level 3, which nullifies all elemental blights, which is really good. So a lot of monsters will give Water Blight, which will make you more exhausted. Ice Blight, which they changed in this one, is with the wire bugs. It'll take longer for them to charge. And there was Fire Blight and a bunch of other ones that'll basically slow you down and stuff. But I have all resistance to that, so I don't even get any of those. So it's really good, especially during a fight. Stun resistance, I already explained that. Part Breaker. This one by default comes with level 2 of it, but I gave myself a level another one, so it gets to level 3. And what that does makes it easier to break or sever parts of a monster. Oops. So what that does is, so when you're attacking damage, certain parts that can be broken, you do more damage to them, which is really good because with this armor set, it needs you to break it faster, and I'll explain that in a second. So this is what I was talking about earlier with speed sharpening. So with protective polish, like I said, it keeps that purple sharpness, but when you have speed sharpen, normally anytime you're sharpening your weapon, it takes like 4 cycles or whatever to when you're swiping the whetstone to use it. But with speed sharpening, depending on how many you have on your thing, I have a level 3, which removes 3 cycles from the sharpening process, which is really good. So when that happens so normally you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your character looks up like, oh, I did a good job and stuff. But when you have each level, it removes one of those. So with mine being at level 3, when I sharpen it once, all I do is swipe the whetstone once, look up, and it's done. And that's it. But since it also it stacks with protective polish, it makes it so that way protective polish just will activate regardless no matter what, which is good. So that's why I was saying I needed to save it for later. Wirebug Whisperer it's good. I think it comes with the armor by itself, but it basically allows when it extends the duration of to keep a wire bug by 30%. That's level 1. That's when you pick up one of the extra wire bugs on the field when you're on one of the levels. So those ones will stay for a limited time. But it makes me keep it longer so I can have it for much longer. But also increases wirefall recovery rate, which is good, and also increases passive recovery rate while on the ground. So when I'm walking around, I can use like the wire when I'm using the wire bugs to travel or whatever. It'll it'll recover them faster. So something simple, and also with using my actual when I'm using my moves as well makes it go. But in Blood Right, this is the best part of the whole armor set right here. So what this does, that's why I was saying you needed this. I needed the level 3 part breaker. So they come together. So what Blood Right does is when you are attacking a broken part of the monster, you will gain HP for it. So it's basically like a vampire blood thing. You're taking away their HP from the monster and giving it to yourself. So when you're attacking, you're doing damage to them, but you're also gaining HP, so you can stay in the fight without having to step aside and take that. So with the increased thing of Part Breaker, you could break more parts faster, so that way, regardless, in the middle of the fight, you're not sitting here with a monster that's not broken all the way. You go in, start breaking its parts, and guess what? You automatically, right there, are gaining HP for it. So yeah. So since I have it, level 1 is just activates the effect, so you get to solo them out. But then, literally at level 3, which is at its max, further increases. So basically, one of the skills that the Wirebug skills that I have that you guys saw is when I shoot straight up into the air, and then I come straight back down, like literally go up and then down with a big attack with the insect glaive. So I basically do that instantly each time, and some of the times when the parts are broken, I can have so much HP that's gone, and literally I use that attack and hit their weak spot. I gain so much of it back because I hit a broken part and I have the blood right stuff. So basically I get more stuff. So yeah, so that's a bit of a rundown. I'm still trying to improve the armor more, but I like it. But also with having a full set of the certain armor gives me +5 resistance to everything. So I think, what's it called? I wish I could view. Yeah, so like my resistances already, I really suck against dragons with this, but water and thunder are good. But literally with having all of them makes it so that way I have my resistance. I think there's a way to view it all, right? Yeah. So so right now, since I have everything already basically, because with all of that, with all the resistances with the armor, it does, what is it, 50 something, I want to say? Yeah, they're 5 each with each armor, so it's 25, so I have a -5, yeah, -5 resistance from my defense boost, from my skills for the defense boost, which it makes my defense at 803, which is more later on, but it would be at 25, but that minus is 5. Plus, if you have the whole armor set complete, you get a -3. You get a +3 resistance. So I'm only weak to dragon resistance by a lot. So that's the one thing I have to try to change, is that, because all the rest is pretty good. -2 resistance to fire. It's not that bad, but resistance to ice, but mainly a lot of resistance to water and thunder is really good. But I'm trying to get an armor thing. Mainly a Talesman that I want to do that has either attack boost with it and dragon resistance, or just have a lot of attack boost to where it takes up everything, and then I can give skill things to it to bring up my dragon resistance. So that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, there you go, right there. Resistance bonus sets, 3-piece bonus, you get 1 resistant, and then that, but I have a 5-piece thing for it, so it's good. So yeah. So right now I am working, my master rank is pretty high. If you guys saw, I'm at hunter rank 168 and master rank 26, since I just got to that done, so I'm still working my way up. But yeah, that's my whole thing. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I know this is a bit longer video, but I just wanted to do some, you'll see more of these later, just because we got some good games coming out later this year. I'm just trying to get some videos up of games that I like and that I have up. So this whole week of videos will be stuff. You'll be surprised to see what comes out for Friday, but this one's going up for Wednesday, which is, you guys will see on Wednesday, which is today. But when you do see this, it's just basically, you'll see more of these ones on different days, but I'll let you guys know, I will be finishing the Mario Striker stuff, so you don't have to worry, and I'll be doing videos of that as well. It's just at the moment, with everything that happened and all that stuff, it kind of took over everything. So, but yeah, I will be finishing those, so you will see those. But I was just letting you know, so that way you're not all like, oh, he's not going to continue or finish them, blah, 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 like he does with a lot of his series. I know. But also, I will be finishing Kirby. I did finish Kirby. You guys saw the whole playthrough. But I did. I just need to go and get it to 100%, which is with collecting all the rest of the Waddle Dees and anything else that I missed. So yeah, you guys will see that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all later. Peace.